Joyful adventure, audits come, join the ride. Joyful adventure.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Joyful Adventure Audits. As we commemorate the 80th anniversary of WWII Day today, May 8, 2025, we're continuing our special series on the former British Legion clubs of Birmingham. These buildings once stood as beacons of community support and remembrance for those who served our nation. Today, we're at the site of the former British Legion on Coventry Road in Sheldon, known locally as the Ivy Leaf Club. This video was originally filmed earlier this year, but we've chosen to re-upload it today as part of our WWII Day commemorations, to pay our respects to the veterans who once gathered here and to preserve the memory of this important community space. The Ivy Leaf Social Club opened in 1948 as a British Legion-run venue and served this community for more than 60 years. In its heyday, the club had over 1,000 members and was a cornerstone for local veterans returning from World War II, providing them with support, camaraderie, and a place to share their experiences. For decades, this building was more than just a club. It was where remembrance services were held, where medals were proudly worn, where families gathered for celebrations, and where the spirit of service was honored. The annual Poppy Appeal was coordinated from here, raising vital funds to support veterans and their families throughout Birmingham. On this WWII Day, as we mark 80 years since the guns fell silent across Europe, we remember not just the victory, but the community that formed in its aftermath, a community that found its home within these walls. Like many British Legion clubs across the country, the Ivy Leaf faced declining membership and financial challenges in its final years. The building has stood abandoned for a while now, falling victim to vandalism and decay. What was once a bustling music and entertainment venue with over 1,000 members now stands in ruins. The impressive three-story building that hosted bingo nights, family events, charity days, and youth club activities has been heavily vandalized, with broken windows, graffiti-covered walls, and debris scattered throughout. In recent years, planning applications were submitted to Birmingham City Council to redevelop the site into new flats. The proposed development includes 2 blocks, 15 apartments facing Coventry Road at the front and 35 to the rear, along with a ground-floor retail unit and associated parking. Most significantly, the war memorial that currently sits in the club's car park will be relocated to the front of the new development, preserving this important piece of local heritage thanks to interventions from the local community and councillors. The closure of the Sheldon British Legion reflects a national trend we've been documenting throughout this series. From Druids Heath to King's Heath, Alton, and beyond, these vital community hubs have been disappearing from our neighbourhoods, taking with them decades of history and tradition. As we've explored in our other WWII Day specials, these closures aren't just about the loss of buildings, they represent the fraying of community ties, the disappearance of social spaces where different generations could connect, and the physical places where our collective memory of sacrifice and service was maintained. The Royal British Legion as an organisation continues its vital work supporting veterans across the country, but the local clubs that once formed the backbone of its community presence are increasingly becoming memories themselves. On this significant anniversary, we reflect on what this building represented. Though we cannot access the war memorial currently located in the rear car park, it's important to note its significance, a stone cross memorial inscribed with in memory of the fallen and the lines at the going down of the sun and in the morning we will remember them. This memorial honours over 100 local servicemen who sacrificed their lives. There's also an oak board commemorating the British Legion Sheldon branch listing the names of the fallen. The men and women who celebrated that first victory in Europe Day in 1945 could hardly have imagined that one day, the very institutions created to honor their service would themselves fade into history. Yet here we stand, 80 years later, documenting what remains before it too passes from living memory. As the last witnesses to World War II leave us, and as these buildings disappear from our streets, the responsibility to remember falls to all of us. Through documenting these spaces, through sharing these stories, we ensure that even as times change, the spirit of remembrance endures. Today, as communities across Britain mark 80 years since WWII Day, we pause here at the former Sheldon British Legion to pay our respects, not just to those who served in war, but to all who kept their memory alive in peacetime. At Joyful Adventure Audits, we believe that understanding our changing urban landscape means honoring what came before, even as we move forward. This building may no longer serve its original purpose, but through our documentation, its legacy lives on. If you have memories of the Sheldon British Legion, or photos from its heyday that you'd be willing to share, please leave them in the comments below. Your contributions help us build a more complete picture of these vital community spaces. And if you haven't already, please check out our other VE Day special videos on the former British Legion branches in Druids Heath, Alton, and King's Heath. Thank you for joining us on this day of remembrance. We'll see you in the next adventure.
The walls once held their laughter bold, now whispers haunt the air so cold. A place where stories thrived and grew now stands in shadows lost from view. The meadows gleamed, the banners waved, a haven built for the strong and brave. But time's tide rolled, it shut the door and left the hall to sing no more. Ghosts of courage, echoes ring in empty halls where pride would sing. Brick by brick their tale retold in silence, now it all unfolds. The chairs are set but none remain, the scars of joy, the marks of pain. Faded flags, a battle's hymn, once vibrant light, now growing dim. But in